grew up in Crossett, Arkansas, and made my way out to the West Coast and settled into San Francisco. My wife, Leslie, and I have been there for 23 years, and my mom taught us service. My dad taught us service. They were very involved in their community, and so that sunk in. And I want to be part of the Arkansas community because the University of Arkansas helps drive economic development for the state of Arkansas. And I wanted to be a part of that as I saw Northwest Arkansas exploding. But my career in life was in the West Coast, but I want to have one foot there and one foot back in my home state. And I love sports. Everything I did growing up was sports related. And, that passion for the Razorbacks, and I love my home state. It all started back in 1991 when a few of us got together and said, you know what, Mike Misichko is really wanting to build up the Arkansas Alumni Association. Let's help him out. A few of us got together, formed the Arkansas Alumni Chapter. It's actually called the San Francisco Bay Area Alumni Chapter. And we sat around and had some great events, and we had fun Razorback game watches, but we wanted more than that. So over time, we said, well, let's do something more meaningful. Let's start a chapter scholarship. So we started raising money through events and through just passing the hat at first, and then we got an out-of-state waiver, and then we started building up an endowment so we can keep this self-sustaining. And so now we've built this endowment up to close to $150,000. So we've sent about 8 or 9 students to the University of Arkansas from California. Through developing this chapter, we were able to create a community and to create a little a way of people connecting in Arkansas, people from Arkansas, to have a community out there, and not only to watch Razorback games but become friends. It's great to be here. I have a lot of family, a lot of friends here, and it's an honor that they can share this award with me and this honor with me. And I love the state of Arkansas. I love the University of Arkansas, and I represent it very proudly on the West Coast, and that's kind of my role in life, right?
I came to the University of Arkansas because I was interested in a particular curriculum, academic curriculum that they had here, the industrial engineering curriculum. The College of Engineering and the Industrial Engineering Department had an outstanding reputation in this area, and I was interested in that particular subject and field of work. My degree at the university provided me with not only relationships, friendships, and networking relationships that I could use throughout my career, but it also provided me with the academic background that was needed to be a consulting engineer, develop the business knowledge that was needed in that area, and eventually become chairman of the board of the company. Oh, my experience at the University of Arkansas was great. It was actually more than I ever anticipated. With a beautiful setting of the campus here, a high-quality academic program that I was in, an exciting college atmosphere. These were all much more than I expected, and I appreciated every minute of it. I think that any kind of service is really a good service, but I particularly think that a person who is willing to give their time as a service is a very important asset that they have. Someone said, we can make more money to give to charities or to foundations or to the University of Arkansas, but we can't make more time. And so I think that time is a very valuable asset and is a main portion of the service that individuals can do, particularly for the University of Arkansas. When I served on the alumni board, I served with Andy Lucas. And I was very proud to be able to serve with Andy because he's an outstanding individual. To receive an award in his name is more than I ever expected. And I think that it means that a person has given some time and effort to the university, and just as Andy did, and in the appreciation of that, the university in turn has, and the Alumni Association has issued an Andy J. Lucas Award. and I'm very proud to get that award.
Please join me in congratulating Larry Stevens. Our next award, the Community Service Award, spotlights the contributions alumni make to humankind through volunteer or professional services in their community. Hugh Brewer's dedicated service to his community has demonstrated consistent leadership and volunteerism through his outstanding professional career. His half a century of service, including serving as treasurer of the Arkansas Alumni Association Board of Directors, has impacted many people from all walks of life in Northwest Arkansas. He is extremely humble, and it finds it personally rewarding to assist people who will never even know his name. Having visited with Hugh and Martha, I have learned about their commitment and passion for the university and appreciate so much all they do for our community. Let's hear more about Hugh's service.
My passion as a young man was electricity. I'm from Fort Smith. My friends tell me I was very lucky because I always knew what I wanted to do. Ever since I was 9 years old, I wired my sister's dollhouses and my tree house and built radios, so I always knew I wanted to be an electrical engineer. When you're a young businessman starting out or engineer, you get volunteered a lot by your employer. And I found that it made me feel good to know that maybe I was doing something for someone who would never know my name or who I was, some intrinsic motivation. As you get involved in organizations, and I've been the president of a lot of them, but what happens is that people forget is that you start out with the drudge work. Back in the early 60s, the really rookie work for the United Way was to be appointed to the seamier side of Dixon Street, and Dixon Street was seamy in the 60s. There was a whole stretch of beauty shops and barber shops. And so you cold called on them for contributions to the United Way. One thing, it makes me feel good. Number two, if we don't do it, who will? You know, this university wouldn't be here unless some people had supported it and helped it grow, and this city's the same thing. The most fun was being treasurer of the Alumni Association. We had a good group. Oh, I would say you owe it to the community. If you don't give it back, who will? And look at all the help you've gotten over the years, whether you realize it or not, and you owe that to them to pass it forward. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked and pleased, mostly shocked. I'm not that public and fairly private, and so I was surprised to know that many people knew what I'd done, to tell you the truth, because I didn't do it obviously for a reward or an award.
Community Service Award recipient, Hugh Brewer. Our next award, the Young Alumni Award, established in 2000, honors the significant professional accomplishments of alumni who are 40 years of age and under, a segment that represents more than half of our living alumni. Recipients are alumni who, in the short time since graduation, have achieved extraordinary success. Angie Maxwell, was making a difference even before she graduated the University of Arkansas. As an Associated Student Government Officer, she advocated to restore Carnell Hall and helped to create the Safe Ride program for students. Now, as the Diane D. Blair Professor of Southern Studies, she's making a difference through her research, writing, and teaching. She says her ultimate achievement, though, would be to establish the Diane D. Blair Center of Southern Politics and Society with a team of her fellow faculty members. Please join me in hearing more about Angie's story.
I started here in the fall of 1996. I had a King Fahd Middle East Studies Fellowship and was going to major in International Relations, which was a brand new major at the time, with a minor in Middle East Studies. And I graduated in 2000 and went to the University of Texas at Austin to get my PhD, and then ended up getting hired back here in 2010. I was president of the Associated Student Government and vice president, and I think I can't even count the committees and clubs and all that kind of stuff. And since then, coming back is just, I've continued to try to encourage my students to be involved at that level and to be a mentor to them in a way that many faculty were a mentor to me when I was here. I know that my life in this job, with this endowed professorship, my life as an undergraduate coming here on a scholarship is not possible without the generosity of the people who give back. I always think specifically of the generosity of Jim and Nancy Blair, who've done so much to help build the research center that, you know, with which I'm affiliated. And all I can do is, you know, try to pay some of that, you know, generosity forward. I mean, it's what everyone says, but when you really think about the fact that someone would take their resources and make a college education possible for you, without which it would not have been possible for you. It really is a gift that's much, you know, you can't ever take it for granted. You know, so to me, you know, there's no amount I can give back to the University of Arkansas that would come close to what has been done for me. I think I'm still learning all the time. I mean, that's the joke about why people get a PhD, is so they can just be permanent college students. So I think sometimes I feel like I never left. I feel like I'm an alum, that's right. I'm not still an undergraduate, I'm not still a student here learning, because I'm inspired all the time by the work that's being done around me. So I was surprised that at the attention a little bit. I think you get in that assistant professor track and you just kind of try to keep your head down and work as hard as you can, scholarly, produce your research, publish as much as you can. And I've been trying to kind of earn my keep, and that people noticed is very touching to me.
The 2014 Young Alumni Award, Dr. Angie Maxwell. The Honorary Alumni Award honors non-alumni who have served, promoted, and loved the University of Arkansas in the tradition of an Arkansas graduate. As part of the award, Hal and his wife Gail are each receiving life memberships in the Arkansas Alumni Association. Hal Walter has attended just as many classes as a U of A graduate, but it's not because he's working toward a degree. He does this to ensure that his son, Raymond, who has a chronic condition, makes it to his classes, and as I talk to him tonight, is working on a dual PhD program. This parent extraordinaire selflessly spends his weekdays navigating Raymond's routes to class, opening doors, and assisting with his personal needs. I've had an opportunity, and some of you may know I've been here a short period of time so far, loving every minute of it. And it's stories like Hal's and Raymond's and their family that we know about our people here at the University of Arkansas and the commitment to be a University of Arkansas graduate for what Hal does for Raymond. I think it's time we hear a little bit more about this story in Hal's own words.
The reason I decided to come to school with Raymond was, I think back to my own college career, 5 years that I was in school as a math major, and I squandered a lot of opportunities. And for Raymond, he will never be able to make those same mistakes. For one, he has a terminal illness. He's has life expectancy that's much shorter than everyone else. So he has no time to make mistakes. And I think back to all the time that I wasted. Well, you know, at this point, I'll make up for that time. Raymond needs 24/7 supervision. I mean, he can pretty much do, you know, anything as far as his writing, computer, anything like that, but simply to be there to open doors, get books out, navigate routes to classes, and of course, you know, all his personal needs, and simply somebody needs to be there for any type of other emergencies that could happen. He can't be on his own ever. Puts a lot of pressure on me to try to, you know, facilitate some level of normalcy for him. It's nice that people such as Danny Pugh and Dave Gerhardt noticed me when I was trying to hide in the background. What I expected from the university, that it was populated with good people like Danny and Dave, that they took it upon themselves to say, yes, we were watching, and we appreciate that, and the university appreciates it, because I was able to bring one of the best students from Arkansas here. And I think they also realized that it was a very difficult situation for our family. And it made me feel a lot closer to the university. So for me, it is a big honor to be receiving this award. I feel more a part of the U of A than I ever did at the other colleges that I attended.
Please welcome to the stage Hal Walter. It's very touching to have the opportunity to see so many of these individuals, Hal and his relationship that he's built here at the university, and his son Raymond, to see our alumni who have received awards so far, and we have more to come, but it touches my heart, and it's why I'm proud to be here and to serve you in our Arkansas Alumni Association. Thank you for having me. And now, as we go into before our next set of awards, I'll let you eat. How about that? So let's move to dinner, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Thank you. We have a lot of people to thank, but there's a couple of groups, or a particular group. I've mentioned University Relations and this tremendous setup they've done for us, but also, and I'm hoping, I ask that we go out and grab a few of our people. My team is actually eating in the hallway outside. They have been working for the past 2 weeks on homecoming, on the awards banquet. They are a tremendous group, and I'm looking to see, do we have some of them in here now? There's Heath. Who else we've got? Angela. Where's my group back there? Where are my guys back there? There they are, lined up. I can't see them for the lights, so I'm checking. Thank you guys so much, and especially in that group. Deb Ukalana, step out here. What you see tonight, that team put on. And Deb's done a tremendous job in leading them, so thank you so much to each of you. It's a privilege to be able to work with you every day. Thank you. I also want to thank a special individual down here that if I didn't, I probably shouldn't go home tonight, and that would be the support system I have at my house, and that is my husband. We have 2 little boys, and I want to thank my husband, Chad Cox, for all of his support in the Alumni Association. Thank you. And much of this award celebration, you see the people behind it, but it's also made possible through the support of our sponsors. A very special thank you goes to our presenting sponsor, Butterfield Trail Village. Also, thank you to our platinum sponsor, Fidelity Investments. Our Ruby sponsors, TIAA CREF and Tyson Foods. Our media sponsors, Cityscapes Magazine and KUAF. Our beverage sponsor, McBride Distributing. And our silent auction sponsor, First Security Bank. I hope you got your bids out there. I've been told that through the bids and also the wine pool, and just so you know, the wine pool will still be available afterwards. We still have a few bottles of wine out there if you want to jump in on that. But we've already raised over almost $8,000 in scholarships this evening through our silent auction and the wine pool. Thank you so much. We are so grateful also for our table sponsors who are listed in your program. These sponsorships allow us to grow this award celebration and other programs to connect and serve the University of Arkansas family. We thank you so much for your support. Tonight's celebration commemorates the 70th anniversary of the first Alumni Award, and this year also marks the 25th anniversary of the Alumni Association's scholarship program. This year, the association will award close to $1.1 million to more than 450 students. The reason I love the work I do is because so much of our mission goes to educate students and give them the opportunities you and I had on this campus to come here and be University of Arkansas Razorbacks. And there's nothing I love more than giving back to our students. We'd like to take a few moments to highlight our Alumni Association Scholarship Program and our incredible scholars.
Well, I'm originally from Santa Barbara, California. My stepdad was a baseball coach, and one of his players was the catcher here for the Razorbacks, and so we came to visit when I was looking at schools out of state and fell in love with the campus. Then I got in touch with the president of the San Francisco Alumni Chapter, Ernst Bauer. I was a senior, and he said, hey, we have this scholarship, and normally we only give it to people that are within the Bay Area, and I'm from Santa Barbara, which is about 5 hours south, but he said we don't normally have a lot of people that go from California to Arkansas, so we'd love to have you come up and meet with us, and I was privileged enough to get that scholarship, so that was an extra boost to get here. Once I got it, it was just, I don't know, it was amazing. It was just kind of like a weight off my shoulders, I was like, okay, I have chills right now just talking about it, but it was just such an amazing opportunity, and I knew that it wasn't gonna be just a scholarship. I knew that I would be networking with these people for the rest of my life, this was just one more thing that I could add to my basket. It, opened up doors to the Alumni Association, really just kind of was the push in, hey, get involved here. And then with the Alumni Association, I was able to meet other student leaders, and then I was able to get involved with Student Alumni Board, and those members were a part of ASG, and then that's how I got involved with that. Or, it just kind of everything, it was a domino effect, and definitely my scholarship was the first push to get me into all those things. My major was journalism and political science, minor in legal studies. Thinking about law school, but wanted to experience the workforce for a little while before I head back into 3 more years of school. Being involved in, or having any leadership position on campus is very time consuming, and I think that if I would have not had this scholarship, I definitely would have had to work and had a part-time job, and I wouldn't have had time to go to a 6 o'clock meeting on Tuesday, or, I would have had to been working and stuff. So it definitely, it's probably 85% of the reason why I was able to be so involved is because I didn't have that financial burden that I had to worry about. My entire college experience was awesome. It's kind of, I'm having a hard time letting it go. But yeah, it was amazing. The people and the campus and the teachers and just, I don't know, everything was amazing. The staff, all of it was great.
When I first got to Fayetteville, it was a really interesting experience. I was a little bit overwhelmed because I came from a town of 500 people and coming to a town of 70,000 people where the university is almost a town in itself was a little bit of a culture shock. I got involved with a couple of different organizations, and that made me feel more at home. And it wasn't long until I knew, like, this is home and this is where I belong. But at first it was a little overwhelming for sure. Whenever I was in high school, I was a senior, I got an email about the Alumni Association scholarships, and so I emailed back and I was like, I'm not an alumni, like my parents aren't an alumni, like is that a qualification? And they were like, no, you can apply. It's actually based off of, it's not just your GPA, it's not just your ACT score, but the scholarship is based off of the skills and the traits that you have, the things that you're involved in, the depth of your involvement, your grades, your ACT score, all of it put together. And whenever I applied for the scholarship, one of the questions was, tell us about a traumatic time in your life that you overcame, or a struggle or difficulty that you overcame. When I was 12, my dad passed away, and something that was really encouraging to me was the words that he had said. And I didn't know why at the time, but I always remembered he always said you should go to college, you should further your education. And so one of the things that drove me the most in my life and in my career is knowing that there was someone who wanted me to do more, that I did have a support system. Even if my dad wasn't here anymore, that was something that he wanted me to do. And so I used that as motivation to challenge myself to always do better. There are so many opportunities available out there. You just have to look for them. You have to search for them. And the Alumni Association is a really awesome way to get money for college that you wouldn't be able to get elsewhere, maybe because you don't have the GPA or you don't have the ACT score that everyone else has. And so I definitely love telling people about that and letting them know there are more opportunities than just getting an academic scholarship or financial aid. Because there are people that they sacrifice their time, they sacrifice their money for me, people like me, to get an education. And so every time I go back, I tell them about the things that I'm involved in, and I just let them know I'm so thankful for the opportunities that have been given to me through the donations that you've given, through the time that you've given, just because it wouldn't be possible without them. If it wasn't for me getting that scholarship, I would not be here today.
I love this job, and I love stories like we just heard from Devaney and Heather, and it wouldn't be possible without the generous financial support from our alumni and the University of Arkansas family. Thank you to so many of you in this room who support our scholarship program, and you've made it what it is today. One of those individuals, and we listened to or saw the board earlier, but there's a gentleman here today who actually started this program in 1990, and he started it with just 2 scholarships to where we're over 450 today. And I know that Mike Masechko is here, one of my predecessors as the executive director of the Alumni Association. Mike, I want to recognize you, please. Mike, this program wouldn't be the million-dollar endeavor it is today without you. Thank you so much. And recognizing our students like this seems like a perfect segue to me, as we're now going to be recognize our faculty. And here to do that, to present the Baum Award, is the university's Chief Academic Officer, Provost, and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Sharon Gaber.
Established in 1997, the Charles and Nadine Baum Faculty Teaching Award recognizes a faculty member for outstanding teaching and includes a $5,000 award. Tonight, we are pleased to present this prestigious award to Mary Beth Matthews, the Sidney Parker Davis Jr. Professor of Business and Commercial Law at the University of Arkansas School of Law. There's no doubt that Mary Beth brings a lot of enthusiasm to her classroom. She genuinely loves teaching and uses her real-world experiences as an attorney to prepare her students for their future legal careers. She's also proud to call the University of Arkansas her alma mater.
I'm actually an Arkansas native, so I've been around a long time, and a lot of my life has been spent here at the university. I'm a very lucky person. I went to school here, both undergraduate and graduate, and then I practiced law for a couple years in Rogers. I love teaching. I love the fact that I get to do it. What I like to do is I really like to be able to help somebody understand a particular concept. I think of learning as a cooperative effort. So I think that what a professor should try to do is find out what they know, build on it, make them think. The fun thing, of course, is when you take them through that, and it's been called the aha moment. You know, of course, it's when the light goes off in their brain and they say, oh, this, you know, oh, yes. And, you know, that's what I get to do. I get to do that every day, and I love it. I love it. What you really have to do to be a good law professor is you have to really want your students to know the stuff. But what you are trying to do to train them as an attorney is you're trying to train them to see both sides. You can teach law without being a practicing attorney, but having that perspective gives you so much more knowledge. It gives you so much more credibility. You learn a lot of the practical things that I can share with students now that I would not have been able to do if I didn't practice. So I really valued that practical experience. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to teach. So when I got to start teaching part-time in the business school, I just gradually got to work my way back onto the faculty at the law school, and it was great. So I got to do it. I always intended to, didn't think I'd get to, but I got to. So I'm very lucky. And then to get this award is just kind of the ultimate topper. You know, this award, my kids called me up and say, hey, Mom, you know, this is really neat. So anything you can do that impresses your children and is a recognition from the entire university, you know, not just the law school, that they think you've done things right. It's a wonderful thing, and I appreciate it very, very much.
Mary Beth is unable to be here tonight. She is, in fact, with her family celebrating her son's wedding. I'm proud to present the award to Carl Serco, Associate Dean of the Law School. Well known to the University of Arkansas community, our next presenter really needs no introduction. Chancellor and alumnus Dr. G. David Gerhardt will present the Alumni Association's Faculty Distinguished Achievement Awards. Chancellor?
Well, thank you very much, Provost. Let me just take a moment and tell you how delighted we are to have the leadership of Brandy Cox as our Executive Director. Brandy, thank you for the fantastic job that you do. Now, by the way, just a personal moment if I could, I've already had about 12 people tell me tonight that they want to be the new SEC commissioner. Okay, here's what you do. You put your resume in a white envelope, you send it to my home address, you address it to Jane, and you include an administrative handling fee of $100. And I'll be back in touch with you. All right, now down to the real business. As part of a long tradition, we recognize tonight the work of 3 prominent educators for public service, research, and the Rising Teaching Award. These prestigious awards also include a $5,000 cash prize. First, we recognize the Faculty Award recipient for public service, Dr. Edward A. Pohl, a professor in the Industrial Engineering Department. After retiring from a 20-year career in the United States Air Force, Ed knew he wanted to go into academic life. For the past 10 years, he has used his passion and his desire to help others to integrate service learning into his courses. Through his leadership, he serves as a role model, not only for his students, but also for his colleagues. Ed says he looks for service opportunities that will benefit the students, his department, the college, the university, and the engineering profession. Please give your attention to the video screens.
I came to the university in 2004 after having spent 21 years in the Air Force. Prior to coming here immediately, I was at the United States Military Academy on the faculty there, teaching in the Systems Engineering Department. I enjoy the engagement with the day-to-day engagement with students. I enjoy trying to motivate the students to learn, the excitement when they do accomplish something and when they learn something. Those are the types of things that get me excited about going into the classroom every day. I've always been a service-oriented person. I valued the folks who during my younger days growing up, who gave of their time to help make things possible for me, whether it was coaches or teachers or those types of individuals who mentored me when I was younger. So I felt an obligation to give back in that respect. I always view service as an activity that's something you enjoy doing, doesn't feel like it's extra work, and has value to the organization or value to the students. So to me, service is just a natural part of whatever you do. My service activities usually provide me insights into how I can do my day-to-day job better. You know, one of the things I'm trying to bring into my classroom more is this notion of service learning. So trying to get the students to realize that the things we're teaching them have application and impacts on society, and try and bring in projects that allow them to experience and put to use the knowledge they're gaining in terms of how it impacts others. And so I think my own service activities help give me some perspective on maybe how to do that in the classroom a little bit. So it does impact your ability to teach and relate to the students and maybe even motivate those students. You know, today's younger generation is all about saving the world, right? They're all interested in doing things that try and make society better. And so, you know, when you can do those things and integrate those things into the learning environment, it really makes them learn without realizing they're learning because they're excited about it. Our role in the university is to try and add recognition to the department and to the university, and so service roles help facilitate that as well. But you can't just do service activities to check a box. You actually, to be successful and do them well, you have to have a passion to do them. And so I try not to do anything that I don't want to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Edward A. Pohl. Next, we will present the Faculty Award for Research to a longtime professor who brings history and the people who lived it to life in his classes. Dr. Elliott West, who joined the University of Arkansas History faculty in 1979, is a nationally recognized professor. His name is quite fitting, as his research specialty is the American West. He loves the challenge of entering the perspective of another time and uncovering the experiences of ordinary people from that era. He teaches his students about history by revealing the unpredictable and unexpected findings in his research and provides them the chance to engage with historical documents. The archives are undoubtedly a favorite part of this wonderful professor's research. Please watch the video screens.
I teach in the Department of History here at the university. I'm a specialist in the American West, the American frontier, American environmental history, and American Indian history. The most gratifying part of teaching to me is really those moments when you're talking about something that interests you, and you look out there and you suddenly see this light go on. I love dusty archives. The smell of the dust in the archives, excites me. And it's a way of reminding myself, I think, that history is part of the humanities. And when we do history, when we study history, we're really exercising a kind of a spiritual muscle that we have. And when I work in the archives, and I read a diary or I read a letter, I hear that as someone talking to me from over, many, many generations. And I think it's part of our obligation to listen to those people, to hear what they have to say, and to try to pass that along to those of the generation that's coming after us. History is such an exciting field, and there's always so much going on that if I look back over time, what I see in my own research is that I read something new, and I'm drawn to it, and I sort of attack it, and try to learn as much as I can about it, and then engage my own research in that particular area. Then something new will come along, something else will happen, and I'll move over to that. So I like to think that my research not only helps my students, but helps me as well. I really never expected an award quite like this. I've received recognition in the past, but this is certainly one of the most gratifying. Coming as it does from this university where I've taught for so long. My first reaction was, of course, to be very grateful and honored. I know people who have received this award in the past, and I respect them enormously. And to be in that company was a pretty heady experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Elliott West. Our last faculty award of the evening is presented to a professor whose early career has produced distinguished results. We are honored to present the Rising Teaching Award to Dr. Douglas E. Sperrott, an associate professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Since joining the University of Arkansas faculty just 3 years ago, Doug has already had a great impact on his students, on the department, and on the university as a whole. As he continues to bring in external research funding, he uses technology and his own experiences as teaching tools. He understands that his role extends beyond the lecture as he advises and mentors many students. Please give your attention to the video screens.
I've got a pretty diverse family in that sense. My mom's English, as in from England, and met my father in graduate school in the United States. And so my dad's moved around to several different states, and my mom obviously changed countries. And so I'm from Detroit, but none of my family still lives there. My brother lives in California. My parents now live in Colorado. And so I've had the opportunity to travel all over the United States, basically. Some of the most important things to me are the things that my students do, both at the undergraduate and the actual graduate level. I'm generally type A personality, and so I definitely bring a sense of enthusiasm to the class, not just for the subject material, but also for the entire educational process. I really do enjoy being in the classroom, and I really do enjoy working one-on-one with basically students, either at the graduate level or at the undergraduate level. I love the daily interactions. I love being in an environment that it's always different, basically every single day. You can do research in a number of different contexts at the national labs or in industry, but in academia it's different because of the student interactions, because there's always groups of students that are interested in this aspect of a topic or this aspect of a topic, and that's what really kind of excites me. I love working with the graduate students that I have, and hopefully there are more to come that work hard in my research group, and hopefully we do really impactful research that makes a difference. Using or leveraging nanoscience to make new and innovative products in some way. I tend to truly provide as much time as I can to the students that show an effort in my class to want to learn the course material. If the student is eager, the student puts the effort in to try to learn the material, I will put as much effort back to them in order to teach them that material, whether it's in class or outside of class. The students go into the class knowing that I've received some of these teaching awards, and because of that, they recognize the effort that I've put in, and they try to match that effort themselves, saying that this person, this faculty member, is recognized for putting in a tremendous amount of effort into his class. I, as a student, am going to try to put in as much effort as I can into this class to learn the material. And I think that's what a lot of these awards do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Douglas Spirit.
What an amazing group of faculty. Aren't they tremendous? Isn't that what you remember about campus? You remember your faculty, your advisors. And a special thank you to Dr. Gaber and Chancellor Gearhart. Your leadership on campus means so much. And Chancellor, it is definitely an honor and privilege to work with you day in and day out as a part of this university and a part of your team. So thank you so much for everything you do and your leadership for the University of Arkansas. I'd also, yes. We definitely have tremendous faculty on this campus, so thank you to each and every one of them, and to the faculty committee that came together to select these recipients tonight. Thank you for your time and putting that work into selecting these tremendous faculty members. Great job, everyone. Now, I'd like to call on an individual that I sometimes joke that she's really the reason I took this job, to be quite honest with you, because I wanted to be part of the dynamic duo who got to work with Stephanie Street. She's a 1991 U of A graduate, and she currently serves as the Arkansas Alumni Association Board of Directors President. Please welcome Stephanie Street to present our final 3 awards.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Good evening. In essence, the Citation of Distinguished Alumni is a lifetime achievement recognizing exceptional success. Past recipients have included television executives, an Arkansas governor, an NFL referee, and top military officials, just to name a few. Tonight, we add 3 more to that amazing list. Our first recipient, Janie Sims Hipp, was tapped to launch the Indigenous Food and Agriculture Initiative at the University of Arkansas School of Law in 2013. Ours is the nation's first law school to focus on tribal food systems, agriculture, and community sustainability. She previously served as the senior advisor for the tribal relations to the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. As a citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, her work with tribal relations is dear to her heart. Please pay attention to the screens.
far southeast Oklahoma and a pretty rural and remote area of the state. My father's Chickasaw. I'm Chickasaw. We grew up in that far southeast part of Oklahoma, which was literally 10 miles from the Arkansas border. And my passions are food and agriculture law. My passions are Indian country and trying to help Indian country kind of writ large, succeed in the food and agriculture sector and feed everybody's people better. We have a lot of potential in that space. And I never thought I'd be a lawyer. I ended up going to law school on a dare. I wouldn't advise that for anybody. But it's been a great journey for me. But I never really fully saw the fundamental nature of agricultural law and how important it was until I saw firsthand what happens to a society when it doesn't have a rule of law. And agriculture and food are very, very important, and that kind of brought it home to me. There's some really, really incredible people who work here, who teach here, and who really care about students. And I think that is easy to forget, but the folks who've mentored me as an LLM, as a food and ag law expert, and as, just on a day-to-day basis here, are just important and valuable. And taking the time to actually mentor future professionals, that's a huge responsibility and a big role. And I think to me, that's the most important thing that we can do or say or be about when we're about our work here, is who's coming up behind us.
I'd like to welcome Janie Sims Hip to the stage, please. Our second recipient this evening is a lifelong Fayetteville resident and the first in his family to graduate from a university. Greg Lee blazed a path in public service while serving in senior leadership roles for more than 27 years at Tyson Foods. He learned from the best as he worked with business leaders like Sam Walton and Don Tyson. And during his tenure with Tyson, Greg was an active leader in various trade groups associated with his career. His community involvement is diverse as he continues to give back to his alma mater and to Northwest Arkansas.
The university is just a part of my DNA. Having grown up in Fayetteville, actually grown up right near the campus. Two of the houses I grew up with, one bracketed the university campus on the south end and another bracketed it on the north end. So I've just always been around the university. It was almost like the 13th grade for me to go to the university, and I was blessed to be able to go. And it has certainly stood me in very good stead for my career. I discovered what my passion was at the what is now the Walton Business College, and that was sales and marketing. I got my degree in that, but I learned that was something that I was both interested in, had an affinity for at some level, and a passion for. So my experience at the university was great in every way. I was very excited to learn that I had been selected for the Distinguished Alumni Award. That is something that, I think anyone would be proud of having been selected, and like me, humbled for having been selected. Certainly was an unexpected honor. It means a lot to me in the sense that at some level it is a recognition of your career. I've been very fortunate, like Frank Broyles has said many times, he's lived a charmed life. Well, in And I certainly have been too. I've been very fortunate in my life. I've been given a lot of opportunities to do and be a part of things that have been very rewarding and valuable to me. And I'm very, very appreciative of this award. I think my opportunity to in any way become qualified as a potential distinguished alumni was certainly in a very significant way influenced by the support of my wonderful wife, Hannah, all through my career.
Please join me in congratulating Greg Lee. Tonight's final CDA recipient has 36 years of service to Arkansas agriculture through a distinguished career with the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation. Ewell Welch followed his father's footsteps to the University of Arkansas into the agricultural field. Ewell was instrumental in establishing the Arkansas Foundation for Agriculture with the mission of educating Arkansans about the value and the importance of agriculture. He spent much of his career addressing issues that help farmers and ranchers improve their quality of life and economic well-being, something he found extremely rewarding.
Rural Arkansan, grew up on a farm in Yell County outside of Havana. Was graduated and always thought I would go to the University of Arkansas. Both my dad and my uncle, after World War II, came and finished their degrees in agriculture here at the university and went back to their homes and became vocational agriculture teachers. So I grew up not only on a farm, but in an environment of agricultural education. My college experience had a great impact on my career in Farm Bureau because of the education being taught in a research-based environment and being able to carry that experience then into the practical applications of my career. It was a tremendous benefit to be able to have that experience. Flabbergasted. I received a call from Charlene Reed telling me that I had been nominated for this award, and when I think about all the individuals that have come through the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville and the successes that they've achieved in their careers, to be even considered along with those individuals for recognition, it just blows me away. It's come a long way from a country boy from a small town in rural Arkansas. Through hard work and dedication and doing things hopefully the right way, that in some way sets an example to young people that are entering the college, and you can achieve your dreams and be successful if you just continue to work hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ewell Welch.
Great group of recipients, and I have to also say thank you to our board members who've been a part of the selection committee. Thank you so much to all of you for what you've done in selecting our awards this evening. And to Stephanie, I can't say enough about how much it means to me to have the opportunity to work with her and the Alumni Association. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for everything you do. Thank you for celebrating with us tonight as we honor these remarkable individuals. This is a time when the U of A family stands proud. We are currently taking nominations for the National Board members and Alumni Award recipients for 2015, so I'm going to definitely have to jump in and put a plug in there for that. Contact information for submitting nominations is in your program, so please take a look at that. I know all of you know many people who qualify and exceed the qualifications for these wonderful awards, so please take an opportunity to nominate those individuals. We want to be able to recognize them. So nominate your alumni, fellow alumni and faculty. And now, believe it or not, we're at the end of our awards program. Tonight, you have met 12 very special honorees. These individuals personify the exceptional University of Arkansas graduates and faculty who reached the pinnacle of success while serving Arkansas and the world. Be proud of our U of A family. Before we conclude tonight's celebration on Homecoming Eve, those of you who have attended this event before, and anyone who has been at any event that I am normally at, you know it's a tradition for me that we have to call the hogs. So, I'd like to invite our Citation of Distinguished Alumni recipients, Janie Sims-Hip, Greg Lee, and Ewell Welch, to the front right down here. And back out, Stephanie Street, our board president, and let's call those hogs. Well, that wraps up tonight's program. Thank you all so much. And don't forget as you leave, check on your silent auction winnings. And don't forget about the wine pool. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you next year.
Go Hawks.